What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Cameron and this is the Sowell Garage. So in today's episode, we are not working on the Tacoma, although we are making headway on that. I promise you guys, the Tacoma is not on the back burner. Quick little glimpse right there. Oh, that's all you guys get. So, stuff's going on with the Tacoma, but there was a lot of stuff that happened over the last few weeks. I had to go back home on emergency leave and some other stuff. I don't quite feel it's appropriate for the channel to kind of like disclose any of that stuff, but yeah, just a really tough few weeks. And but before I left out for Tennessee, I found out that I won something, and it is this 1993 Lexus SC400. Oahu, super bad. Well, Hawaii in general, super bad about abandoned vehicles. They don't want to take the time or the money to ship their vehicles back, and it happens a lot on military bases. So those cars get rounded up, they get put on a lot, they sit for a while, and then they go up for auction. And I won this car for $800. I was able to take my title and everything to Lexus, and they cut me a key for $50, and this thing just turned right over. It is an absolute monster, and I love this thing. Reliability-wise, this thing is super awesome. There's not a whole lot of issues, but as you can see, we have this transmission here. This is actually from a GS300, and I think they share transmissions. I'm not too sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that the problem that we're experiencing with this car will be fixed by parts that we can pull out of this transmission. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a sneak peek of what exactly it is that I'm dealing with this car, and give you what my thought processes are on it and why I determined the solution to this issue. So let's go. Alright guys, so I'm going to try and be as safe as possible about this, but I'm going to get her down into first gear. And it broke traction. Lovely. So it's a little wet out, but I'm trying to show you guys that in first gear she pulls and she pulls good, but as soon as it shifts into second, well, it falls on its face and wants to stay in second gear. But right now it's in second. See how it doesn't matter how much more I put down the pedal, it does not shift. So OD light's flashing, which means that the computer module in the transmission detects that there's a code or something that's an issue. So here you can see our diagnosis port for our 1UZ, and if we short this terminal and then this middle one here, that's going to place the car into diagnosis mode. So if we turn the car to accessories position, you'll see the check engine light is flashing, and then we're going to see the OD light flash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. 1, 2, 3. So that means that our transmission code is 6-3. But one of the things that I noticed while I was actually rewatching the video from the test drive was that the speedometer wasn't working at all, which also makes me think that this may be a two-part fault. So we may have an issue with our VSS and our solenoid, or it may be one or the other causing a cascading fault. So I did a ton of research over the last couple of days, and I was highly mistaken in assuming that the transmission I had and this one was the same. They're not. This is a 93. The one I got was from like a 2001 GS300. So they're similar and the VSS sensors are the same, but there's a mechanical speedometer sensor that, after cross-referencing a bunch of part numbers, is actually from a, what was it, like a 98 to 2004 manual Tacoma. And well, guess what? I had a spare one laying around, so we'll go ahead, pull the mechanical one out of this one, see if they match up. I have a feeling the tooth count is going to be different, but we'll go from there. So let's get that one out. I got it right there. Super hard to see, but yeah, just that one bolt. Pull that out. So it took about 2 minutes to get the sensor out and about 2 seconds to break my heart and realize that once again I was wrong and they are not the same sensors. But I'm kind of curious because they're very similar, so I'm wondering if I can take the like guts and everything out of the known good sensor and put it into the bad one, or the one that we think is bad. I'm pretty sure it's bad. Hopefully it's not the actual wiring, but I'm going to try and do some testing and see if we can for sure know that it's bad. So I'm going to break out the multimeter, try to see if I can get some resistance readings and kind of compare them between the two, because I would imagine a lot of the analog side of it's going to be the same. So let's do that. So I did some resistance readings like you guys could see, and we were getting absolutely nothing on this sensor. I tested one from the W55 and then another one from the W59 transmission that came out of the Tacoma, and we were all getting around 10K ohms, and it would vary very little when you would turn the wheel and stuff. I assume that's going to be a much more drastic change the faster it spins, but we were getting absolutely nothing on this one. So after I tore this thing all apart, just like this one was, it was just caked with all kinds of crap. This is most likely a dielectric grease. Well, that stuff was like black. Most likely dielectric grease as well, but it just broke down over time, and we were getting absolutely no connectivity between the center pin here and the center button there. And so now, as you can see, we're getting right at 9.9K ohms. I turn this and it changes it just a little bit, which is identical to the readings that we saw on this one and that one. So let's go ahead, throw the sensor back in and see what we get. Alright, let's see if we get a speedo reading. Nothing. Alright guys, so I found some very interesting stuff inside the transmission, and I'll let you guys take a look. So, to me, it is very, very evident that somebody has been in here before, because this is like, this plug is sealed with some type of like silicone or something on the outside of it. I assume to try and like keep it, I don't know, watertight or whatever, but then there's a freaking butt connector on the shift solenoid that we need to replace. Like, what is this jank stuff? So what I'm kind of thinking is, if I'm not mistaken, the actual connector itself, you undo a 10 mil bolt, disconnect all the wires, pull it back out, and then hopefully from there I can fix it, and fix it the right way, because butt connectors are not the right way to do something like this. It's not that hard to solder or use heat shrink. It's really not. So I'm gonna try and pull this wiring harness out and fix it the right way, and then we can test our solenoid and see if that's what's causing our issues, because I kind of have a feeling that it is, especially after seeing all this. So let's get that done. So it's been a few days now since we fixed the wiring and everything on the solenoids for this car, and I've been driving it, and let me tell you guys, it runs beautifully now. Just randomly, the speedometer started working again, so I'm not sure if, like I said earlier, it was like a cascading fault kind of thing, but we did clean up the speed sensor and everything just seems to be working. So let's go ahead and take this thing for a quick test drive. So as you guys can see now, our speedometer actually works. She shifted right into second. She just shifted into third. Oh, this thing finally drives just so good. Dope, got the green light. This thing, it's so phenomenal now that this thing actually shifts, and it shifts properly. It'll hold all the gears, go through the RPM range. Shifted into second. She's pulling past 2,000 RPMs. Just shifted again. Oh, so happy this thing is finally driving like it should. I'm gonna give it one last little rip and then we'll head home. Oh, I'm so happy. Alright guys, well that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and coming along this journey with me. I'm super stoked that, granted, yeah, okay, the transmission fluid and stuff costs money, but for the most part we actually fixed the issue for free. And this thing is phenomenal for 850 bucks, including the price of the key and the car and everything else. Like, this is a steal. This is a phenomenal car. But anyways, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys once again for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.